listen, I get it. Life may be hard. You might be going through the toughest time of your life right now, having this internal battle in your head every single day, and it's driving you nuts, and you're like on the verge of giving up. And I want you to not give up. I want you to understand that God has a plan for you and to trust in God's plan. And this is all a part of the process. You need this to happen. This needs to happen in order for you to grow into the best version of yourself, the person you're meant to become. This transition needs to happen. Like, this phase in your life that you're going through right now, it is part of the process. It is all a part of the journey. And these are things that when I was younger, I didn't want to see. Like, I would just think that things were supposed to happen for me just because this and that. I was, I had like this somewhat victim mindset, but as I got older and I started to mature and I started getting closer with God, I started to realize that everything happens for a reason and nothing is a coincidence. And God literally has a plan for you, and he's going to show you the plan along your journey, but he's not going to show you it in full. Like, he's not going to show you from point A to point B. Like, he's going to show you this, and then, okay, cool, you're going to see progress. You're going to go through this, you're going to start seeing this, and you're going to start realizing things about yourself. You're going to start changing. You're going to start accomplishing things. And then after that, he's going to show you this. And, it might get hard along the way. It might break you, but you're going to come back from that. You're going to become stronger. That's how you get stronger. You know what I'm saying? By going through those moments where you're weak and you feel helpless, but you strive through and break through that barrier. You know what I mean? That's literally one of the best feelings in life, is when you overcome your obstacles. And that's what makes us have the wisdom, the knowledge that we need in order to grow and in order to help other people, is by going through our own experiences and striving and accomplishing the things, even if it's hard, even if it's tough, even if you feel like giving up every single day, you're just like, yo, I'm done. Like, and you're not seeing things, and you're even asking God for help, and you feel like you're not even getting what you're asking for, but you are. You're just not getting it in the way that you expected to, but God is listening. And I want you to understand that I made that mistake of not seeing the signs when I was younger. And now I pay attention to the signs. And if I miss the signs, I make sure to ask God, like, God, if I miss a sign, please show me again. And he continue to show me. And he will. He'll keep showing you. He'll keep putting you through the same test until you finally get it. And you don't want to be that guy that or that girl that you get so close to your goal and you finally, you're literally right there. You're like one step away, and then you choose to give up right there and walk away. And it's like, you could have just, if you would have kept going, you would have saw what you would have been. And then later on down in your life, you're going to have that regret. Like, what if I would have kept going? What if I would have just, and it's like, I saw this picture on social media, and I'm going to post a picture like right here so you guys can see. So you don't want to be this guy right here. This guy that he's literally digging, and then, he's looking for that gold mine, that diamonds and stuff like that, whatever that he's searching for. And he's so close to it, he doesn't get it, and then he walks away. But literally, if he would have kept digging, it was literally right there on the other side. And that's literally how life is, And it's like, we give up right when we're so close. And it's like, that's the test right there. God is going to put these obstacles in your way, and it's like, you have to pass these tests, and it's going to make you or break you. And it's like, you gotta not break, man. You gotta not break. Like, it happened to me back in my phase in life where I had depression. So I'm gonna give you guys a little background on my story. I did talk about this in one of my other videos, if you want to go back to that. But yeah, I'll break it down here. So I started boxing, but before I started boxing, I had some depression. I had, I struggled with anger, depression, and I had no sense of direction. I was doing IT, I was working and stuff like that, but I just felt like I was just destined for more. And like, I'm just like, yo, is this it? Like, just go to work and, come home. And it's like I was just depressed. It was just, I didn't have that direction in life of where I wanted to go. And I started boxing, and that was my outlet. It was my therapy. And I literally would go to the gym, hit the bag, and I just felt good. And I fell in love with boxing. Then I started taking it seriously, and I almost went into the Golden Gloves, and I almost started competing, and I even thought about going pro. And I was really good. I would post myself on social media and, videos. I went viral and stuff like that, and I was really happy, and it made me happy. And and God blessed me with that, you know. And it's like, but something happened down the line, and what happened was I got injured and I had to get surgery on my shoulder, and I wasn't able to box for like a whole year. I took a year off. I came back after I healed, but during that year that I took off, I was severely depressed because I had a sling on my arm, and then I just couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do anything. I got fat, and like I got depressed. I was drinking. I was overeating, and like I lost myself in that way. And I asked God, like, why bless me with this talent if you're just gonna take it away from me like this? You know what I mean? And it wasn't right for me to do that, but in that moment, you know, I was young and I was just angry with God, and I see why he did it, you know, why that happened to me. Not saying that he did that to me, but I'm seeing why that happened. And before I didn't want to see it. I was like, why me? And, you know, once I healed, I ended up going back into boxing, and, you know, I got happy again, and I started to, you know, make the progress again and get back in shape. I lost 15 pounds. I got in shape, and then boom, shoulder, it got dislocated again, and I started getting that same problem. And next thing you know, it got to the point where it's like my shoulder was preventing me from progressing in boxing. And it came to that point where it's like I accepted the fact that I might not be able to do this long term the way that I think that I didn't want to do it. Like I thought that was my plan. I'm going to be a professional boxer, you know, and it's like that's not what it is. That's not what God had in store for me. You know, maybe that was a phase in my life where God, you know, allowed me to you know, because boxing did a lot for me. It helped me build the self-confidence. It helped me calm down, you know, with my depression and stuff like that. It helped me just find who I am and be able to express myself, and to just, I was just happier. It made me a better person. It changed me. And it's like, I don't want to say it as in like that specifically changed me, because that's how I used to see it. But now the way that I see it is God changed me. And I always try to give credit to, not even try, I always give credit to God for everything that I do. And because I never want to have that where it's like I take all the credit, like, and, you know, have my ego, where it's like I always give credit to God. You know, right now I'm doing acting, and my first ever acting film that I did was a film where I'm literally battling with myself, and it talks about my depression that I had. And I'm gonna maybe post a clip here somewhere, but this is an internal battle that I'm having with myself, and it's like I'm talking to the past version of myself, and this is a new version of myself. It's the light Jeff versus the dark Jeff, and I didn't expect for that to happen. Like, I didn't know that was going to happen. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to act even before I started boxing, but I was just so focused on boxing. And it was like I asked God, why you gave me this talent? And like that was kind of like really like the only thing that I was like really super good at naturally, where like it just came natural for me. And I was just like, wow, like a lot of people don't even know what their passion is, or, you know, what they love to do. So it was like, and I encourage you guys to you know, to explore that, you know, because it's good to have that, you know, but a lot of people don't have that. So I was just like blessed enough to even have something that I was just naturally good at that became my passion, and I feel like it got taken away from me. And yeah, look, now I have another passion, which is acting. So it's like I was blessed to have two, and it's like I transitioned from boxing to acting, and then that's when I started to see the signs that God was showing me, because I literally made a film about my depression that I went through, and it touched so many people. And I'm looking at the comments, and people are like, yeah, like I really needed to hear this, and it was just like I made an impact on people. And that's when I started to realize, like, wow, like this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to impact people. I'm meant to just, all the things that I went through in life, all the pain and the suffering, and look, I made a movie about it, and it helped other people out. So I had to go through all that pain and grow through it, and now I'm able to help people. Now I'm able to talk about people, like if they have depression or things that I went through, and I'm able to help because I surpassed that. You know, I overcame it. It was like that was such a good feeling, and I'm just like, wow, like. And then after that, you know, I went into acting classes. Mind you, this movie that I didn't even have any acting experience. I just, you know, and it still came out good. And it's like, that's when I was like, all right, God bless me with this talent, because people were saying like, yo, you're natural. And it's like, again, I wasn't taking credit for that. I'm like, no, that's God. And I prayed to God before I did that movie, and I asked him to guide me, and he guided me along the whole way. And I wrote that movie myself. I wrote it myself, and it came from the heart. And you know, it was my goal to impact other people. So then after that, I went to classes. I got better, and I met great people. I had great teachers, and after that, I just started getting booked like this. I started, you know, I went into theater, which I never imagined myself. Like, if you would have told me years back, around 2018, 2019, that was like the time where I was like, you know, a little messed up. If you would have told me I was doing theater, I would have been looked at you crazy. I would have been like, what? Like, you know, but that goes to show you is like, God is going to take you to places that you wouldn't, like I said, you wouldn't even know or imagine that you would be there. Like, until it happens, you're like, wow. Like, it's like you can change so fast. Like, it feels like in an instant, but it's like right now, it's like, don't let your circumstances or what you're going through identify you. Like, this is not, like, this is just a season. This is just a phase in your life, man. And I want you to understand that, because like I said, like, I didn't expect to be here doing this. Like, you know, even doing YouTube. Like, I went from doing theater and I'm still acting, by the way. Like, and I love it. And I have a gig coming up soon. It's a big production, and I can't wait. And God blessed me with that opportunity. And you know, I feel like that's the role, that's the opportunity right there that's going to change my life, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I just know that I'm going to be working with great people. The director that I'm working with, the writer that I'm working with, like, they're great people. I just know, like, just by, I had a few conversations with them, and I just know that they're great people, and God put them in my life. And this just goes to show you that you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. So just keep going. And, you know, my mom used to tell me that one day you're going to preach about the word of God. You know, you're going to preach to people. And I looked at her like, because I grew up in the church, you know. My parents, you know, they took me to church as a kid, but I never, after a certain age, I stopped going. You know, when I got older, I stopped going. I always believed in God. You know, I just had a time in my life where I kind of like stemmed away from him a little bit, and you know, I just started doing my own thing, and I stopped going to church. And these experiences that I went through brought me back closer to God. You know, I went through anxiety and stuff like that, and as I went through the anxiety, you know, that brought me closer to God, and I started asking God for forgiveness and to just, you know, take this away from me. Like, I don't want to feel this anymore. Like, I went through depression and anxiety, you know what I mean? And one thing that really did show me that God is real, because I know God is real, but one thing that really did, like, prove it to me, like, right then and there, was the fact that one of the plays that I did, it was a Shakespeare play. As I'm driving to the play, I pass by the street, like, I'm using a GPS, and I pass by this certain street. And after I passed that street, I looked to my left, and that's the street where I almost got shot. And it's like, the time where I almost got shot was the time where I was, like, really depressed, and I used to think about death a lot. And I should have said this early on in the video, because that was really like a big point in my life that made me see things. And it was the fact that I almost got shot. You know, I got drunk one night, you know, I was depressed. I got drunk one night. I went out and, you know, to escape, and I parked in the wrong place. And when I parked in the wrong place, you know, I'm outside, you know what I'm saying? I'm just on my phone. I was kind of like, I was cleaning out my car a little bit, you know, and I turn around. It just happened so fast. I turn around and I see this guy with a ski mask, and he's just walking towards me. And, you know, I have my back toward, like, on my car, like the back of my car, like the bumper, not the bumper, the hood, whatever. Yeah, so I'm in the back of my car. I'm just chilling with, like, you know, my back behind the, you know, so I see him, and then he walks past me, and then after that, like, I just look at him, and then, you know, he walks past me, and then I'm like, all right, cool. And then boom, he turns around. When he turns around, he quickly draws his gun at me, and then, you know, he just asks me, you know, where's the money, blah blah, this and that. And, you know, I got robbed. You know, I got robbed at gunpoint, and I didn't really have nothing on me. I didn't have anything on me at the time. You know, I had like $40. You know, he took the $40. You know, he was like, where's the rest? You know, like, Next thing you know, I forgot what I said, or I said something to him, and then, you know, he got mad and he hit me with the gun in the back of my head, and he was like, you know, I went inside my car, you know, looking for more money. I had my wallet in my car. I'm like, yo, my wallet's in my car, and then, you know, he said, go get it. You know, I get my wallet. You know, there's a couple of more bucks in there. I'm like, yo, this is all I got, man. Like, you know, I don't got nothing else. Like, and then, you know, after that, he just walked away. You know, he walked away, and then he ran. And it's like, at that time, I was like, wow, like, I stared at death. You know, I looked at death in the eyes. You know, when you have a gun pointed at your head, like, you're staring at death in your eyes, because in one click, you know, that's it, you know. And it's like, after that happened, I didn't even realize that was God at that time. You know what I mean? Like, it took me like a year later on, when I had like my spiritual awakening, and I healed from like certain things, and like, that's when I started to realize, like, wow, God wants me here. Like, for you to wake up depressed, and like, I used to wake up angry, like, why am I here? You know what I mean? And like, I didn't want to be here. So for me to have that mindset, and then look at death in the eyes, and it walks away from me, it was just crazy. Like, to me, to this day, like, I can't afford to get depressed because of that experience. I cannot afford to get depressed, because it's like, that experience alone showed me, like, God is like, I want you here. You are here for a reason. Like, you're here for a reason. And it's like, when I used to cry up to God, I was just like, I didn't have it in me anymore to just keep going. And that was that push that I needed. Like, that was him talking to me, like, I want you here. So years later, fast forward years later, I'm acting, and then the play that I'm going to perform in front of other people, I literally had to drive, like, the GPS took me to that place, and I turned to my left, and I see the same street, and it's all different now, you know, because that street, it was like an alley. It's all, they changed it up now. It's like new, just like me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the same person anymore. It's like, that in itself was like, it's just like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I could not believe it when I saw it. And it's like, you know, it's crazy that even that same year where it happened to me, I still had depression later on. And I was like, I would even wake up and wish that, you know, that did happen. Like, you know, he did, you know, pull the trigger. But, you know, now I'm glad that he didn't. I'm glad that God blessed me, and he saved me that night, and he was watching out for me. And I'm glad that, you know, I'm still here to this day to tell a story. And now I thank God every single day. You know, when I wake up, I thank God for giving me another day. You know, I learned to appreciate the little things in life, because, you know, we want so much, and it's like we forget to stop and think, you know, of how blessed we are. Like, look at that. Like just taking a breath, you know, like that's a gift from God. Like, you know, that's a blessing in itself. You're here, you're breathing, like, you have life. You know, it's like, life is beautiful, and I see that, you know. But back then I wasn't seeing that. Back then I was depressed. You know, back then I was angry. You know, I hated life. You know, I just hated how I was feeling. I hated the feeling of how I wake up and I just wasn't happy. It's like, you know, I didn't have no sense of direction. I didn't know what was going on. Like, and it's like, I just felt like, you know, it felt like survival. Like, every day I'm just surviving instead of living. Like, I wasn't truly living. You know, I wasn't living in my purpose. I wasn't really happy until I actually found God again and got close with him, and he showed me the signs that I needed to see. And it's been, you know, it's been up ever since. You know, now I always pray to God and ask for guidance, and to continue to show me along the way, along my path. And I encourage you guys to do the same. And like I said, understand that, you know, this is all a part of the process. This is all a part of the journey. You know, I didn't want to see it back then. I didn't want to believe it. But that's all, you know. This video is getting, you know, a little too long. So that's all I want to say, guys. Just keep going and trust in God, and trust that he's going to guide you along the way. And your breakthrough is coming. Your breakthrough is coming, and you're going to see it's going to be all worth it in the end. you are going to see it. You're going to see with your own eyes, and you're going to be happy that it happened the way that it did, and not the way that you wanted it to happen. It's going to happen on God's term and on his plans, and his way is the best way. It's not your way. Like, that's your ego. You might have plans, you might have your goals, and that's fine, but God's plan is better. And, you know, if it aligns with his will, he's going to allow it to happen. If it doesn't, he's going to tell you. And you just have to, you know, make sure you communicate and get close with God and find him and read your Bible, because these are things that I wasn't doing back in the day, and now that I'm doing it, I'm getting more answers. You know what I mean? I'm seeing the signs a lot more, because you have to meet God halfway. You know, you can't just try to do things on your, you know, by yourself. You have to meet him halfway, and he's gonna you know, he's gonna meet you there. So trust in God. God loves you. God has a plan for you. Keep fighting. You're gonna be okay. And, you know, you're going to overcome it. And I believe in you. And God believes in you. So I'll get with you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with anyone that's, you know, going through the similar situation. And, you know, hopefully this can touch as many people as possible and help as many people as possible. And I'll get with you guys in the next video. Peace.